It's painful. Painful, I know. I know. Painful way to end it. I know. I know. I know. I know. Not the way we wanted it to end. Not at all. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ice Cold Takes podcast. I'm your host, Joey Nemaglio. And unfortunately, the Rangers season has come to an end after a 2-1 defeat in Florida in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. The Rangers were unable to get past the 10-win mark for a second year in 3 years in the Eastern Conference Finals. They do not advance to the Stanley Cup Finals. They get the 2-1. They get the 2-1 lead over Florida after Game 3, the big overtime goal by Wenberg, and they go no further. 3 straight losses, and the Rangers are out. And Florida, by all intents and purposes, all counts of this series, was the better team. And I have no problem admitting that. And I got to be honest with everybody, I'm in pretty good spirits considering how well this season has gone and all the comparisons to 1994 and based on how last season went and where everybody was at and how we all felt about Lafreniere and the core. I don't I'm not as heartbroken as other people might be. I'm definitely not as heartbroken about it as I was last year when the Rangers lost to the Devils. There is no shame in taking the full swing and coming up short against a team that is better than you, which is what I think the Rangers did in this series against the Panthers. Every game was close. Every game was winnable. They were in all these games. The only difference, the only where I think the series was lost was when it shifted to Florida, games 3 and 4. That's when Florida started to dominate. The games were no longer even. Florida dominated them. And although the Rangers split those 2 games, that third period on, Florida really took it to the next level. They brought their A game, and the Rangers could not match it. There was nothing they could do. That was it. Right? And, they're the President's Trophy winning team, and you got to expect more from them. But we knew coming in that Florida was no pushover and that they were the favorite because they had gone to the Stanley Cup final in the previous year. VZ Peasy says disappointed D. Matt, Polish Matt, I still can't pronounce your name. I've known you for a year now, dude, and I can't pronounce your last name. Congrats to the Panthers. I hope they win the cup. This season was a failure. Simple as that. Changes need to be made this offseason. Yeah, I'm not going to say that this season is a full-on success. Not like a couple years ago when the Rangers shocked everybody and made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. We'll just say this was a step back in the right direction for the Rangers. Yes, I need changes to be made. Absolutely. Absolutely, I need changes to be made. You cannot run this same roster back. You cannot go back into the 2024-2025 season and say, "All right, this is a copy paste. Let's put these guys back in." No, 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 no. I need some young guys in there. I need Othman up. I need Berard up. I need Edstrom, Rempe playing full-time minutes. Like, I need these young guys coming in because these older guys that we have, they're on the way out. Wheeler, Gustafson, Wenberg, we don't need them. Rosovic, we don't need them. We have our young guys in the pipeline ready to go, ready to build our future, our core around the rest of the core around these guys. Build with these pieces around what we already have in place, like the Foxes and Panarin and Lafreniere even. Lafreniere needs to be getting like more ice time next year, even more this year. I know there's been some criticism about Mika Zibanejad. If you want to move on from him, then Vinny Trocheck's your first line center. He proved that this year. I don't know if anybody needs to be told that, but he's more than capable of being a number 1 center. He's great defensively. He wins faceoffs. He chips in offensively. He works with your star player, Artemi Panarin. The chemistry is there. There's your first line next year. Panarin, Trocheck, Lafreniere. That's it. Eh, you gotta catapult, like, old school medieval times, catapult Jacob Trouba's contract, $8 million AAV into the stratosphere. I mean, what does that guy do? I know it's not like me to kinda complain and bitch and do all that stuff on here, but enough's enough, man. Like, I gotta do this. What is the point of veteran presence? Like, I said this like on months ago about like Gustafson that I was done with him. But what is veteran presence mean? Like when you say Jacob Trouba is a veteran presence, what does that mean? To me, I would think that means all right, a steady defenseman that's good defensively, maybe chipping a couple points offensively. Well, let's look and see at what he's done. Right? He doesn't chip the puck out. He's not steady defensively. I mean, if you look at the first goal, where on earth is he going? Right? In the first period, at the end, the Rangers never close out first periods. They never close out the period. They could never seal the deal. Where was he going? A veteran presence, like that's supposed to mean you're able to make the easy plays, the simple plays. Why should I have any faith in you when you can't do that? How are you getting paid $8 million to turn the puck over in front of your goaltender? How are you getting paid $8 million to fumble a puck with open ice in the offensive zone on the blue line when you need shots? How? How can you justify that contract? I'm sorry. Like I've tried defending him. I like his big hits. I like him as a person, and I'm sure the players in the locker room appreciate how he is as a leader and what he says and how he stands up for them in the dressing room. But enough is enough, man. Your performance on the ice does not match up to what your contract is. How can the Rangers justify paying that contract to him when there's guys that have easy times getting the puck out? Like AHL level defensemen are making these plays and he can't. That is the biggest problem that the Rangers have. It's not Zibanejad, it's not Panarin, it's not Kreider, it's not Capo Caco. It's Jacob Trouba's $8 million AAV cap hit. That's the problem. So the first person that I better hear people screaming for to shoot into the sun this offseason is Jacob Trouba. I'm sorry. It's not Zibanejad. I know he didn't come through when we needed it. I know he didn't score any goals. I know Kreider came up empty in game 6. I know Panarin had a meaningless goal pretty much in game 6. I know he didn't show up in the series, but Jacob Trouba, time and time again in this series and throughout this playoff run, put the team in a bad spot, and the team was just never able to recover from him. Anytime he was on the ice, it always felt like something bad was going to happen. It felt like something bad was happening because that's what we were witnessing. How do you justify paying $8 million to a guy who can't even clear the puck out of the zone? How? And don't get me started on Gustafson. That guy shouldn't even be in the lineup. Zach Jones should be in the lineup. How? I mean, the Florida's the better team and all, but you got to think the Rangers take at least one of those games. Maybe they take game 6 if Trouba's not in the lineup. Seriously. You look at that first goal, look how badly out of position that dude is. It's insane. Insane, man. Let's go through this. Let's recap this game and then I'll get into some more talk about next year. I still am in pretty good spirits, but in terms of like game 6 tonight, it was a good start. The first 10 minutes, 5-on-5 play, I thought was good. I thought the Rangers controlled the play. They weren't really high quality chances. And looking back on it, Florida definitely did not break a sweat. And they haven't broken a sweat pretty much the entire series. Like it's pretty crazy, like how easy they were able to make breakouts from their own end and create offense out of it. The Rangers just never adjusted, were never able to make it hard on them. Forsling is such a beast, man. He's such a beast. Even a guy like Ekblad, who I was criticizing earlier in the playoffs for being not a good defenseman, he was having an easy time getting the puck out. Jack Roslovic sucks, dude. He sucks. He's so bad. You're getting criticism D tonight, guys. You are getting criticism D. How do you miss that open net? It's wide open. How? You don't get a better chance than that. At least when Panarin had the time and space, the one time you got it in the series, he made the most of it and buried that fucking puck on Bobrovsky. Oh yeah, we're swearing D tonight too. Man, maybe I'm not in good spirits. I hope that Matt saying, "I hope Igor demands a trade for his sake and the team's sake. Until this organization accepts relying on goalies to win you a cup isn't a successful philosophy, then they won't win anything." Well, let's see how they handle the offseason, and then we'll know for sure whether they have that philosophy of, actually winning, or if they just wanna sell tickets and stuff. Um That goal at the end where Trouba makes that boneheaded step up at the blue line could have been offside, could have been waved down for touch with the high stick. We didn't know if it went in. Ball buster of a goal at the end of the period. The Rangers can't get anything on the power play. They won for what was it, 15, 16 on the power play in the series? Unheard of, man. Unheard of. Florida held the Rangers to only one power play goal in the series. Take it. Take it. Take the series, man. Take it. You deserve it. You deserve it. Panarin had too many east-west passes in the first period. I thought the Rangers needed a forecheck. It was pretty obvious how Florida was playing. Nothing was there. They tried the east-west passing on the power play, and they snuffed that out too. Just too easy for Florida. Too easy. Second period, I was saying that the Rangers needed to play with 4 defensemen because, like I said, Trouba, Gustafson, whenever they were out there, something bad went wrong. Something bad went wrong. So just cycle through 4 defensemen and don't even play Trouba, Gustafson. But you made your bet already when you decided to go with 6 defensemen and not play Zach Jones instead of going 11 and 7. Scratch Roslovic. I don't care. Brodzinski looked fine tonight. I didn't have a problem with him. No problem with Brodzinski. Not enough urgency. It was too easy for Florida once again. Third period. Like this is where I realized, okay, the writing's on the wall. Rangers, they played fine. I don't have a problem. I don't think they played bad. I just think there's little mistakes here and there, like I said with Trouba, Roslovic, Gustafson, where you can't capitalize on open nets. You make bad defensive breakdowns, breaking out the puck. You can't do that. Taking stupid penalties throughout the series. It all comes back to bite you in the ass. Florida was a better team. They deserve to win. Hats off to them. I hope they win the Stanley Cup so we could say the Rangers lost to the team that won the Stanley Cup. At least we could hang our hats on that. I know it's not really something you want to hang your hat on considering how well the Rangers played this season. But man, you got to take something out of this. I'm trying to I'm trying. I'm trying. Of course, Vladdy put the final nail in the coffin as well. Yeah. Internally, I'm thinking to myself, man, Tarasenko has done shit this series. He hasn't done anything. What the hell is Paul Maurice talking about? Why is he giving him all this praise? He sucks. And then, of course, he gets the game-winning goal as Panarin tries to do too much on an extended zone shift. Finally decides to start shooting the puck when he should have been doing it the entire game, probably the entire series. Turns the puck over. They go the other way. Rangers defenseman can't get back. Schneider can't get a stick down on him quick enough. And Tarasenko makes it 2-0. And that was it. Curtains. That's it. Shesterkin literally had to do everything. There was a play in the third period. I think when Trouba Gustafson was on the ice, and Florida like flipped the puck, dumped the puck in, and was starting to get a forecheck, but like Shesterkin caught it, put it down, and cleared the puck out after a failed attempt, a failed like successful like a failed attempt by the Rangers defenseman. So literally, Shesterkin has to make the saves and break the puck out for his defenseman. So yeah, that guy has to do everything. Trouba owes him dinner the rest of the summer. Miller owes him dinner for the next 2 weeks. Gustafsson owes him whatever's left on his contract here. Like, the dude, if it weren't for him, the Rangers aren't in this spot. They don't win game 6 in Carolina. They don't win game 2. They definitely do not win game 3 in Florida. No chance. So, pretty soon, next year is the last year on Shesterkin's deal. The Rangers are going to have to ask themselves if they want to spend the money on that. They have Lindgren coming up this offseason. Kakko is a free RFA. What are they going to do? Who are they going to spend the money on? Tell you what they shouldn't do is keep Jacob Trouba around because he sucks. Every time he's out there. I'm sorry, I've defended him long enough. How can you justify the captain, no less, making $8 million and not being able to break the puck out, not being able to make the easy plays, the ones that you expect your captain to make? How? It just doesn't add up. It's always been Trouba's contract. To the people saying the Rangers needed to move a big contract and it being Goudreau or Kreider or Zibanejad or Panarin, it doesn't make any sense. Trouba is clearly the guy that needs to go. I am sorry. I am sorry. This is a hard truth for a lot of people, but the guy cannot play. He can't play. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know what's going on. It was an absolutely disastrous season for the captain of the Rangers. Disastrous. There's no other way to put it. No other way. Gustafsson's got to go. Roslovic has to go. Wenberg, you don't need him back. Next year, Hedl needs a clean bill of health, and I'll start to feel confident again. To the people giving up on Capo Caco, if you're gonna give up on Jacob Trouba, if you're gonna get rid of that contract, buy it out. Use that money to keep Caco. Why? He's young. Former second overall pick. There is no way in hell he's asking for more than $3 million. Anything less than $2.5 million is cheap. And that's exactly what he should be asking. He should not be getting more than what he's making right now. He should be making less because he had such a piss poor season. He has yet to break out. You bridge him again and you keep him short term. And you hope that he does what Lafreniere does. And I know you might be saying, Joey, how could you expect that? He's been here a year longer than Lafreniere. I know. He's still young. He's in his early 20s. You don't give up on a former second overall pick that easily, especially with a guy who has the attitude like him. Give him some more ice time, for God's sake. Please. Break up the Wonder Twins, Kreider, Zibanejad, if you have to. I wouldn't give up on Kakko yet. I just wouldn't do it yet. Not ready to do it. You call up Othman next year. You play your young guys. You play Zach Jones. We have to talk about the core, though. Is it time to move on from Mika Zibanejad? I don't know, man. I'm going to pull up Cap Friendly right now. See what the Rangers are working with. So for next year, 24-25. Let's see. Cap hit statistics. Cap space, $11.3 million. And they could use that to sign Kakko, yes. Roslovic, goodbye. Wenberg, goodbye. Wheeler, goodbye. Lindgren, we'll come back to you. Braden Schneider, absolutely going to keep this guy around. You might want to lock him up long term, actually, because he was good. You keep Miller Schneider as a pair next year, and I'll be very happy. The Rangers were playing with 3.5 defensemen in this series. Miller, Lindgren, Schneider, and half of Adam Fox because he was on one leg. Jacob Trouba and Eric Gustafson did not show up to play. Gustafson took a piss poor penalty in game 5, completely changed the game. It changed everything. That's probably the turning point of the season. Lindgren, the only way I'm keeping him is if he's not asking for term, which he probably will be. He's probably asking for 5 years, and for a guy that takes a beating like him at 26 years old, which would take him to 31, I don't want that contract because it's gonna be hard to move. You call up Matthew Robertson next year, left-handed defenseman. You play Zach Jones. No, you have to. You have to call up Robertson because you're not gonna keep Gustafson. Gustafson's gonna get a lot of money in free agency. He's not gonna come cheap like he was this year. Yeah, he had too good of a season. GMs will eat that up. You wanna bring back Ruedel, fine. This is plenty of cap space the Rangers have to work with to sign these guys. Kakko should be asking for no more than $2.3 million. Roslovic, you don't need. Wenberg, you absolutely don't need. Blake Wheeler, you don't need. Even if you get him, you're getting him at league minimum. Lindgren, that's where most of your money would go in. Braden Schneider, again, you could put in a lot of money there. Sign him to like a 5 times 5 year deal, $5 million deal. Something like that. Lock him up. Don't bring Gustafson back. Last year for Shesterkin, let's see. VZ is a UFA next year. So next offseason, the Rangers will have Lafreniere, Edstrom, Cooley, Rempe as RFAs, VZ as a UFA, 25-26. Keandre Miller is a UFA or RFA, and Zach Jones is an RFA. So Zach Jones is actually under contract for next year. How you don't bring him back is beyond me. Like, you have to bring that kid in. Kakko's done here, in my opinion. I want to see more from Kakko, but I agree you try to bridge him. You just don't overpay. Yes, absolutely. That's all I'm saying. Just if Kakko comes to you and says, like, please, I want to play. I want to keep playing. I don't think I'm going to play anywhere. I don't want to play anywhere else. I'll take $1.5 million. You mean to tell me you won't take that? He plays defense. It's not like he's nothing. He's better than what we have. I would take it. My offseason subtractions, Matt says, my offseason subtractions would be Trouba, Gustafson, Lindgren, Wenberg, Roslovic, Kakko, Mika, or Kreider. The thing about Zibanejad, what do you want to replace him with? Do you want a 1C or do you want a 2C? Because I made the point in the beginning that Trocheck's a 1C. He played like it the entire season. Zibanejad was not the first-line center this year. He was not the 40-goal scorer that we've known him to be. This was very much a step back for him, and I was very disappointed with the season overall. Very, very disappointed. I mean, I like how he stepped up in the beginning of the playoffs. It started shooting the puck more and started being more noticeable. But after Carolina, it just wasn't the same. Not the same with him. Got some questions here. He's got $8.5 million on the deal for the next 6 years. He's a UFA at the end of the 29-30 season. He's 31 now. What do you want to do with him? If you trade, who's available? Who do you want to go after? Right? Like, I don't think you should trade Kreider. I don't think you should trade Kreider. Why would you give up on that guy? That's your forever player. That's your forever player. Actually, it's time for the Ice Cold Take segment. Remember, folks, for the last time in this playoff season, this season, Ice Cold Take is a noun, an accurate statement backed by facts and observations that is solid in nature, similar to a block of ice, i.e., a spot-on claim. So, with Jacob Trouba potentially being traded or bought out this summer, I hereby declare Chris Kreider is the captain of the New York Rangers. I know he's introverted. I know he did not want to take the mantle, sole responsibility of being the captain of the New York Rangers. But he's number one capo, the capo of New York. He should be the captain. It's got to be him. It has to be. It has to be. Tired of Trouba. I am tired of him. I don't see this team being a cup. Matt says I don't see this team being a true contender for a cup for 2 to 3 years. By that time, guys like McDavid and Eichel are free agents. Okay, that's fair because that lines up with what I'm saying. Where you call up the young guys next year, you might you might not suck, but you're gonna take a step forward, take a step back to take 2 steps forward, pretty much. Right? You let Othman play. How many damn years is it gonna take for the Rangers to find a right winger for Chris Kreider and Mika Zibanejad? And I don't want to hear about Gensel because for all we know, Kyle Dubas could have been asking for a first Perot, Othman, and Kakko. And you're out of your fucking mind if you wanted to do that. You're out of your mind if you wanted to do all those pieces. A first Kakko, Perot, and Othman. It could have been that. We don't know what it was. Everybody's just assuming that it was a first and Kakko. That's not what it was. Because if it was a first and Kakko, that's obvious. You have to go for that. Why would you hold on to Kakko when he's not doing anything for you? If you're going to do first, they had to have been asking for like Perot. They had to have been asking for that. That's your forever guy. Yes, Chris Kreider, forever guy. Man, like I don't even know like who's available. Like if you want to replace guys, like Stamkos, like Stamkos is a free agent this offseason. If you get rid of Zibanejad and Trouba, that's $16.5 million. Woohoo! $16.5 million you're freeing up in cap space, dude. That's if you just outright trade them. Don't even retain their salaries. I think the buyout on Trouba is a $4 million cap hit for the next 2 years, and then it's only $2 million for the next 2 after that, which is not horrible. Not horrible. Matt says, I would have never done Perot, but if it was Kakko, Othman in the first, I would have done it. That's the thing, though. We still do not know what it was. No one's going to be able to figure that out. You know when we're gonna know? We're gonna know like at Brooksy's gonna like throw it in like some random article for a November game next season when the Rangers play the Gensel's new team when he signs his big boy contract in free agency. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. Just like he did with Panarin about how Gallant aired it out. There's literally no one to replace Mika with on the open market. Yeah, like I don't know what the free agency class is this year. I'm gonna look at it this year. I'm gonna look at it right now. Players, free agents. 24-25. Stamkos, Reinhart. Yeah, dude. There's no one. It drops off big time after that. Henrique. There's your next center after Sam Reinhart. They even have Reinhart listed as a right winger on here. I remember he was drafted as a center. Marchessault is a free agent. You want to go after him? I don't know. I think you keep Zibanejad, you ship Trouba's contract to the stratosphere, and you play Othman on the right wing next year. You either give me Othman on the right wing or Cooley on the right wing next year. Then you give me either Cooley or Othman with Hedel and Kakko on the third line. Panarin and Trocheck. Panarin, Trocheck, Lafreniere, run it back. Give me Lafreniere power play one time. God damn it, that guy was the best player on the power play for either unit, and he was not getting any time. In like 15 seconds of power play time, he was better than any player on either unit. That's how good he was. Alexis Lafreniere was fantastic in this Eastern Conference Finals series. Fantastic. He deserves a big boy extension now. Lock him up 8 years. Guess whose contract comes off the books the year McDavid and Eichel are free agents? Panarin. Okay. And then Panarin, by that time, if Panarin is right now, he is 32. So next year, 33, 34, he'll be 35. McDavid and Eichel. Dude, you're gonna get your hopes up. You're getting your hopes up, and you know that the Rangers are just gonna be cheap. You know that they're gonna do the same crap that they always do to us. They get our hopes up, and then they let us down. We're Mets fans. They do the same crap. And I have to go back to watching that stupid piece of crap organization, the Mets. I'm not ready to watch them. I don't want to watch them. Dumpster fire organization. You see what happened with Lopez this week? Crazy, man. Throws his glove into the we don't even know what he said in the interview with Gelbsy. We don't know what he said because he didn't have a translator. I don't want to go back to the Mets. Matt says the Rangers need to get a Laffy extension done this year. 8 years, 6.5 to 7 million should get it done. Nah, Dolan would go all out for McDavid if he became available. Yeah, that's the thing. But if he wins the freaking Stanley Cup this year, you think he even makes it that far? I don't know, man. They're going to be building statues of him in Edmonton. Canada hasn't won a cup in over 30 years. Edmonton, if they make it to the finals, I'm calling it. They're losing in 5 games. It's pretty similar to how the Rangers play. They get a lot of their work done on the power play, and their defense is very spotty. The only difference between them and the Rangers, their goaltending sucks. Skinner made some good saves last night, though, I will say. And goaltending sucks. But if they make the finals, Florida is going to win in 5 or 6 games. It'll be very convincing too. If Dallas makes it, I'll say 6 games for sure. Florida wins. But this was the hump the Rangers needed to get over. It was Florida. We knew it from the beginning. We knew that it was going to play out this way. If you want to take a silver lining, it's just how much better the Rangers are than Carolina. It's not like this close anymore. This close. It's actually like this close. The Rangers are way better than Carolina. You know why? Because last year, Carolina had pretty much the exact same team and got swept by the Panthers in the Eastern Conference Finals. This year, the Panthers got significantly better, and the Rangers took them to 6 fucking games. So I'm looking at that as a silver lining. I'm not worried about Carolina. They are cooked. They are cooked. Go to the comments here. If the Oilers win the cup this year, then McDavid finishes his career as an Oiler. That's why I need the Panthers to win. Yeah. Yeah. But then again, Eichel. They didn't go after Eichel the first time. Big mistake. That, Matt, if you want to talk about like yesterday, I know you and Felk and those guys were talking about the biggest what if trade in Rangers history. To me, it's that one, the Eichel one. Can you imagine if the Rangers had a center core of, even if you traded Hedl in that deal and you did get Trocheck, you would have Zibanejad, Eichel, and Trocheck. Dude, scary. Scary. Trocheck, third line center. Nasty. Nasty. Trocheck is well worth $5.625 million. That's a fucking bargain. Such a great deal. Such a good contract, man. Hopefully he plays like that again this next year. Barclay Goodrow, he's earned my respect. I still have it. I still have it here, folks. I am sorry, Barclay Goodrow. Spent too much time complaining about a guy that makes $3.6 million that plays barely any minutes. There's bigger things he could have complained about. Like the freaking captain making $8 million, robbing them blind, and not being able to make a simple breakout pass. I don't know if this is gonna get me canceled on here, like, just all my criticism of Truba tonight, but I gotta air it out. I have to. I can't just sit idly by anymore and just say like, "Oh, yeah, he'll get better. Oh, yeah, it's fine. It's fine." As the entire fucking ice burns around Igor Shesterkin, as the heat mat is all red in favor of the opponent when Trouba is on the ice. I can't do it anymore. He's got to go. He has to go. That's it. It's over. Go home. You're still here. Just go home. If I could go back in time and tell myself to trade Kako for Eichel, then I would 100% do it. I wish I knew better at that time. Yeah, we were all saying don't trade Nils Lundqvist in that deal. And we all look like idiots because we're prospect hoarders. That's what we do. I'm such an idiot. Why? But as if I had any control over what the Rangers general manager was going to do, what Chris Drury was going to do. I think the Rangers are going to run it back with as much of this core as possible, believe it or not. I know people are disappointed. Matt, I know you're disappointed. Trouba needs to get off the phone. Get off the phone. Yes. I can't take him anymore. Can't talk to people like this anymore, man. But I know people are going to be disappointed that there's not going to be significant enough change. But if you want a significant change that'll shake up that room, you got to get rid of Trouba. You have to. $8 million. You're not going to be able to work with that. It's $8 million for, oh, it is for 2 years. It's 2 years. Wow. Maybe they could live with that. But you can't just keep throwing out the same lineup again. It doesn't work. He keeps turning the puck over. How do you not see it? Well, because he's a captain, he's got some protective, he's got plot armor. He's got some protective coating that Zach Jones doesn't have because he's young and inexperienced, and all these other cliches that you want to throw out there because you just don't want to play him. Get the fuck out of here, man. I'm sorry. Zach Jones is a much better defender than Jacob Trouba. That's not even a hot take. It's just fact. He's robbing them blind. $8 million, dude. $8 million. 8 million sheets. How? I can't get over that. I can't. How is this guy making $8 million when all he does is turn the puck over and shoot it into defenders' legs? How? Oh my God. I'm going to have a heart attack. All right, let's get back to this Eichel thing. The thing that makes it worse was Eichel was 24 years old that time. He wasn't even in his prime yet. Trouba's committing legal robbery. Yes. Yes. All of it. He is. All right, let me have some fun here. Let me go through what I would like to see next year. Line combination. Ugh. Kreider's advantage at Othman. There's your first line. No, no, that's not the first line because Zibanejad didn't play like a first liner this year. No, 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 no. Your first line, Panarin, Trocheck, Lafreniere. That's your first line. Your second line, Kreider, Zibanejad, and Brennan Othman. The kid's getting his debut, or he's making his first full season. The rookie's going to come through. He's going to have 50 points next year. Put it down. 50 points next year. It's going to be melted take. I already know it. There's your first melted take for the 24-25 season already. Third line. Your third line is Will Cooley, Filipino, Capo Caco. There you go. Your fourth line. Jimmy Vesey, Barclay Goodrow, Matt Rempe. You bring up Edstrom as your 13th forward. There you go. If you got an injury, you call up Berard and you throw him in there. If Cooley gets hurt, Berard, Heedle, Kako. You don't want to keep Kako? Where's Berard? Where's Berard? What position does he play? Brett Berard. Left wing. Emlash. I think that's how you say it. You call him up, maybe. Adam Sikora. Is he ready to go? He's only 19. Probably not. Brennan Hoffman. Definitely ready to go. Brett Berard. Definitely ready to go. Let's see. Horshak. No, I wouldn't say that. Nah, I don't think so. Trevino, no. Bryce McConnell Barker, no. No, the guys you're looking at, Brett Berard, Hemelash, and Othman. I don't think anybody else is ready. Väisänen, Callie Väisänen. I don't know how good of a prospect he is. I got to talk to Stat Boy Steven about this. Let's see. TPS. Nah, not really impressive. 4 points in 9 playoff games for TPS. Not bad. All these other guys are too young. Maybe Dylan Garand is 21 years old. Last year of his entry-level contract. You might want to get him up just to get a couple starts, just to see how he looks. Just to see what you have. Because you never know. If Shesterkin is asking for $12 million, you might not be able to give that to him. I know he's not going to ask for $12 million. But he's going to ask for a lot. I already know that. The Rangers are going to have a lot more cap space to work with than they did last year. So they can get a little bit creative in the offseason. But, I mean, it's still going to be a long offseason. Dude, I really, really think that they need to trade Trouba or buy out the last 2 years of his contract. I know I keep hammering that point home on this episode. I know you're probably tired of me saying it, but the math just does not work out. It doesn't work. At least with Kreider and Zibanejad, you're getting offensive production. Like, Kreider gets you 40 goals. Zibanejad could get you 70 points at the least. Panarin got you 120 points this year. Perennial 90 to 100 point scorer. Put it in the bank. Well worth the contract. Trocheck, 75 points or whatever it was. $5.625 million. Well worth it. Jacob Trouba, that contract is not worth it. You can't justify spending that. In a league, in a sport where the salary cap, the hard cap, restricts you from making moves and making stupid moves so that you could keep the players that you like because they're veteran presence, that's going to hold you back. If Jacob Trouba's contract holds you back from extending Alexis Lafreniere, the Rangers will never, ever, ever win another Stanley Cup. That's it. You have to make that decision. I know it's tough. I know. But you have to look within yourself and look realistically. Alexis Lafreniere is 22 years old. He's going to be an RFA. We need to pay him. This guy is our future franchise. Future franchise player. We need to give him that money. If Jacob Trouba's contract is going to restrict that, you need to move it. If you're not going to move it, you need to buy it out. That's all you could do. I don't know if they're going to have enough money to do it next offseason. Matt says they can't give Igor the same deal as Hank. I forget what Lundqvist's contract was. I believe it was like in the 8 millions. And man, if it's that, he's probably going to be asking for around that. I'd say $9 million, $10 million, similar to what Bobrovsky's making. Maybe you get him on a little bit of a discount. But if that's what it is that you're asking, then I don't know if the Rangers are going to keep it. Lindgren is going to be tough. It's going to be tough. If you give me a contract that takes him to age 29 or age 30 at a cheap enough AAV, I might think about keeping him around. Anything past that, if he's asking for 6, 7 years, you gotta go. Send him a qualifying offer and trade him. Flip his rights because he's an RFA with arbitration. Braden Schneider, you wanna maybe you bridge him? I don't know. You could lock him up. You could. You could. Um, they do have the cap space. They do have it because there's not that many free agents to sign in the offseason. The team is pretty much locked and loaded. But yeah, those are the changes I would make. It was a very, very disappointing end to the Rangers season tonight. I know a lot of people were disappointed. I know there was all those 94 comparisons had people so hyped and thinking that this was actually the year. It had me too. Unfortunately, this is just another one of those teams in this 85-year stretch where the Rangers have only had one cup, where we're just going to forget about them one day. Whereas instead of being that team 30 years from now, we look at them and say, that was our team. That was our championship team. Once in a lifetime. Whatever Sam Rosen said, this one will last a lifetime. It rings true right about now because the Rangers could not get the job done in Game 6 tonight. That is it for me on Ice Cold Takes. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate all you guys for coming on, watching the stream with me, commenting in the comment section on YouTube, watching on Twitter, YouTube, listening on Spotify, watching on Facebook. As for the future of Ice Cold Takes, I will be back. I'm going to try and keep episodes going throughout the off season. I want to get some more interviews in here. There's a bunch of people I still need to interview. Brian Boyle still needs to come on. I might want to get Neil Smith on to talk about the 94 team. Harnaray and Singh, there's another one. And it's going to be big. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but I will try. As you guys know how determined I am to get these big time guests. But yes, Steve Valaket, I want to try and get him on the show again. I will try. I will make every attempt to get him on the show this summer, even if it's just for 10, 15 minutes. Probably not going to be tweeting day 1, day 2, day 3 like I did last time. Because I could get to the inside now that I did it that first time a couple years ago, if you guys remember that. But now that my degree is all wrapped up, I'm starting to look for jobs in the sports media field. So who knows? Maybe one day I will be covering the Rangers. But I hope to be a sports anchor because that's my passion. I love talking about sports. I like writing about it, just not as much as I do talking about sports. I'd put it that way. One last look at the comments here. Good stream, Joey. We need Johnny Superb, man. Yes, that would be good. Yes, Johnny Superb, man. 2BC Productions, 2BC. The man who taught me everything there is to know about hockey. I've never played a game of hockey in my life except for gym, floorball. I just watch the games, pay attention, and listen to Johnny's rants. That's it for me, guys. Ice Cold Takes forever. Signing out. Let's go, Rangers. I'm sorry this season ended in disappointment, but we'll see you next time. Goodbye.